Midnight. The final train of the city slides out of the depot, a steel serpent gliding into miles of black tunnels. Its wheels scream against the rails, a cry that bounces endlessly through concrete. Outside the windows, nothing but darkness. Inside, only the hollow glow of flickering fluorescent lights and the soft hum of electricity. But listen closely. Beneath the mechanical rhythm, another sound lingers faint, human. A single breath, a muffled scream that rises, then cuts to nothing, as if the tunnel itself swallowed it whole. This is the last shift of Security Officer Mark Johnson, a man used 2 long nights in empty corridors. But tonight his routine will unravel into something far more sinister. Tonight, he will ride a train that should not exist. Mark is methodical. Years on the night watch have trained his senses to read every shadow. He begins the shift, as he always does, coffee cooling in a paper cup, radio clipped to his vest, a small notebook folded into his chest pocket. He exchanges easy words with dispatch. Control to Mark. Final run of the night. Train 901. 8 cars. All clear for sweep. He replies with a tired chuckle. Copy that. 8 cars. Piece of cake. He checks the CCTV monitors. Each carriage camera shows the same quiet emptiness. But then, a flicker. One of the door indicators flashes red for just a heartbeat. Car number 9. Mark frowns. 9. The schedule shows only 8. He taps the screen. The light blinks again, red and insistent. Another call to dispatch. Static answers back. He leans closer. The feed from that door is black, as if the lens is covered. For the first time tonight, his pulse quickens. Determined to finish his shift properly, Mark shoulders his flashlight and steps onto the train. The doors close behind him with a hydraulic hiss that sounds too final. Each carriage echoes his boots like an empty cathedral. The air smells faintly of oil and cold metal. He keys out more to break the silence than expecting an answer. Security. Final sweep. Car 1 nothing. Car 2. Car 2 is the forgotten newspaper drifting on stale air. Car 3 and bulbs flicker, buzzing like a swarm of insects. Car 4 rows of plastic seats stare back at him like empty faces. With every step, the faint thrum of the engine grows louder, as if urging him onward. And always, at the edge of hearing, something else. A soft thump, irregular and distant. When he reaches the junction to Car 8, his radio hisses. Mark, do you copy? Then dissolves into white noise. He tries again. Control? I've got an anomalous possible 9th carriage. Static, only the deep breathing of the tunnel. At the end of Car 8 waits a door with no number, plate just a glowing red light. It pulses like a slow heartbeat. Every procedure tells him to stop here, to wait for backup. But he thinks of the earlier scream and the possibility of a passenger in danger. He fits his master key and turns. The lock resists, then gives with a metallic sigh. The door slides open. Inside lies a carriage, unlike the others. It smells faintly of ozone and dust, as if sealed for years. Seats gleam spotless under lights that hummed softly. No graffiti, no trash, nothing but stillness. And there, halfway down the aisle, sits something small on a seat. His own security badge. For a frozen second, he thinks he's mistaken. He pats his chest. The badge is gone. He takes a careful step forward. The badge catches the weak light and glints familiar. Undeniable. Cold sweat prickles his neck. Then the overhead lights stutter. Shadows stretch across the walls, elongating like dark fingers. From somewhere deep within the carriage comes a quiet metallic scrape. Slow and deliberate, like wire dragging across steel. Mark swings his flashlight toward the sound. At the far end of the carriage, a silhouette waits. It stands perfectly still, almost blending with the shadows. Not a passenger. Not anyone he recognizes. Security, he calls, voice tightening. This train is closed. Step forward. Silence, only the drip of condensation and the low hiss of electricity. Then a voice answers, calm and disturbingly close, though the figure hasn't moved. Already did. The flashlight flickers once, twice, and dies. Darkness crashes in like a wave. Mark's breathing quickens. He reaches for the radio. Control emergency. Car 9. Intruder. The words are cut off by sudden movement behind him. Something loops around his throat, smooth, strong, cold. The radio cord. He struggles, elbowing backward. The attacker is silent and efficient. The only sounds are Mark's choking gasps and the rising roar of the speeding train. He claws for air, kicks at the seats, but the wire tightens with every desperate breath. The train plunges deeper into the tunnel. Lights outside flick past like dying stars. For a fleeting moment, Mark catches his reflection in the dark window, eyes wide, mouth open, but the figure behind him is only a blur of gloved hands. His knees buckle, the world narrows to a tunnel of sound. The blood pounding in his ears, the shriek of wheels, and a voice whispering almost kindly, almost over. With a final convulsion, Mark falls silent. The gloved hands ease the cord and lower him gently to the floor. The unseen killer stands over him, breathing steadily, then melts into the darkness. Minutes later, the dispatcher's voice crackles faintly over the radio, still clutched in Mark's lifeless hand. Mark, status check. Doyu, copy. We're not seeing your badge signal. Only the rumble of rails answers back. Security cameras mounted along the track catch brief glimpses of train 901 as it speeds past. A long silver blur with carriage numbers that don't quite add up. Inside, car 9 appears empty, silent, undisturbed. A gloved hand calmly sets Mark's badge back on the very seat where he found it. The camera feed glitches, then stabilizes long enough to display a single line of text. Train 901 number security assigned. The night train never slows. It keeps running deeper and deeper into the dark city veins, carrying a secret no one will discover until morning, if ever.